only reason I know I have is because caution.
And you breathe every day. When people walk through our doors, I would love them to feel our compassion and our caring for every single one of those patients. Our providers are committed. They're committed to live in this community. They're committed to serve this community. Every patient that walks in the door, they treat like a family member. So I want them to feel like they're home away from home. We have the best board-certified cardiologists to care for you at every level, at every stage. We also partner with Phoenix cardiac surgeons who provide our open heart surgery, and you get the best, most quality care, as well as vascular surgeons who can handle almost anything that walks in that door. And what's so exciting is that you don't have to leave this community to get the best quality care. It's all right here at the Cardiovascular Institute. We have your heart, and we'll take care of it.
Welcome to the 28th Annual Sedona International Film Festival, featuring the best independent films from around the world. A special thank you to our title sponsor, Northern Arizona Healthcare. We also want to thank our presenting sponsors, Yavapai College, the City of Sedona, Cleaner Quicker Car Wash, the Clean Family Foundation, Goldenstein Gallery, BMO Harris Bank, Karen Dunlap Caldwell Banker Global Luxury. Our title and presenting sponsors are wearing light blue lanyards. If you see them around the festival, please thank them for their generous financial support. And please thank the dozens of festival sponsors and donors who make our festival possible. You'll find the complete list on page 2 of your festival program, and they'll be spotted around the festival wearing bright pink lanyards. Please thank them for their contribution to the success of the festival. A special thank you to the sponsor of this theater, Goldenstein Gallery. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the festival. And now, here's your theater host.
Thank you, John. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to opening night. Woo! Have you had a good day already? Yes? It's a great opening day, isn't it? Thank you, thank you, thank you. We so appreciate you coming out. We appreciate you masking up. Thank you for keeping each other healthy and safe and keeping our staff and our volunteers. We're almost through this, ladies and gentlemen, and we are proud to say we are, I think, one of the only festivals that has gone live all 3 years, ladies and gentlemen, during the pandemic. And it's thanks to you all following along and helping us out. So thank you very, very much. We appreciate it. Please help me give a very big thanks to the technicians that make this theater sing. We're so happy. Jeremy Ferguson, Shane Richards up in the booth. And a special extra helper, Tim Jessup, who's helping out with sound for Dr. Elvis tonight. Thank you, Tim, very, very much. And of course, when you see the team around the festival, make sure you say hello to John Snow. John Snow has been the technical director of every single of the 28 Sedona International Film Festivals. He is phenomenal. He's often over at his perch in Harkins Theaters. But John has brought the best of the best. This tech team that came in for this festival and last festival, and they keep coming back, are the teams that put together Sundance, Telluride, and all the finest festivals in the world. That's why we look and sound so good. Give it up for our entire tech team. And of course, follow me back here. They need to put steps on that stage. I'm going to kill myself one of these years. I'm getting old. We have a... You didn't have to agree. We have a wonderful, wonderful new position this year in our title sponsorship. We received a very, very large cash donation, thankfully, from Northern Arizona Healthcare that puts them at a little bit of a different level as far as being our title sponsor. And we are so grateful because that cash makes so much happen, because you can only imagine it's a very, very expensive endeavor to put on the 28th Annual Film Festival. So please help me thank Flo Spiro and Larry Kushner. Thank you very, very much for the incredible support of all the people at Northern Arizona Healthcare. We are so very grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we also, of course, want to thank, I know they were mentioned in our opening sequence, but I think it's due diligence to make sure we mention all the presenting sponsors again, because these are the people who donate us all the cash, again, like Northern Arizona Healthcare, that make this happen. And many of these have been with me and with us for many, many years. And the beautiful part about this is, every year after the festival, I say, can I count you in again as a presenting sponsor? And they say, absolutely, when do you need the check? And that's so wonderful. And those are, and please give a rousing round of applause, Yavapai College, who's new this year, Cleaner Quicker Car Wash, the City of Sedona, the Clean Family Foundation, Goldenstein Galleries, BMO Harris Bank, and Karen Dunlap Global Luxury. Thank you all so very, 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 very much. And while you're clapping, give it up for our amazing hospitality industry. They donate us hundreds of room nights to house our filmmakers. And if ever any of you have booked a hotel room in Sedona, that's not cheap. And they donate all of those to house our visiting filmmaker and VIP guests. Give it up for our hospitality industry. Additionally, we have restaurants in town, resorts in town that feed our VIPs every single day, Monday through Saturday in our VIP lounge, lunch and dinner, and host parties at night so they can roll the red carpet of Sedona out to our visiting guests and our locals. Nice round of applause for all of our restaurants. You're going to learn about them all this week. And do we not have the greatest volunteer crew in the world? Please give a nice round of applause for our volunteers. We all get to call this city home. We welcome all of you who are in from out of town. We welcome all of you locals. We are the largest local supported organization, nonprofit in Sedona. We're very proud of that. It's all thanks to you. And we are the longest, biggest event in Sedona, and that's all thanks to you and our visitors. So give yourselves a round of applause for being here at the festival and enjoying our films. You all being here and you all living here makes us very, very happy, but probably no one more happy than the mayor of Sedona. And she would like to welcome you tonight, because you all bring so much money and good things into our coffers here in Sedona. Give it up for Mayor Sandy Moriarty. Sandy! I must bow and exalt.
I am standing up, though, I promise you. I'm standing up. Well, how many of you here are from out of town tonight? Put your hands up. Okay. So this is, and to you, welcome to Sedona. On behalf of the city, welcome to Sedona, the most beautiful place on earth in so many ways. And one of the ways is certainly this festival. And no one works harder than Pat Schweiss and his team. So please, give them all a great hand. And that's, you know, Pat and the board are a working board. They are. You'll see them everywhere. And they're just wonderful. And they have made this festival what it is, one of the best in the country, I think. Maybe in the multiverse. Let's go for the multiverse. Why not? Yeah. So, and thank you so much to all the sponsors and the great volunteer teams. How many filmmakers do we have in the audience? Any tonight? Okay. Well, you're going to find out that the Sedona Film Festival takes better care of you than any other film festival you'll go to, I'll be willing to bet. Because I hear that from all the filmmakers every year. When they come back, they just rave about how well they're treated here in Sedona. And we love having you. You know, the last time we did this festival, it was June, it was summer. And that was an interesting experience. It was like 105 outside, so imagine that, like compared to today. I prefer it this time of year, I think. So, but it's great anytime. The film festival is my favorite event all year. It always has been. Before I was the mayor, I used to come to every slot. And I can't do that anymore, but I just enjoy as much as I can. And boy, it started out for me with a bang this morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. With the conductor, how many of you saw that? Oh my goodness, that was so good. So all of the films are good. They do a great job selecting the films, and it's always just so enjoyable. And we're just lucky as residents that we have a film festival of this caliber in Sedona. So again, on behalf of the city, I just welcome all of you, and thanks for coming and supporting the film festival every year. Thank you. I know you're going to have a great week. Thanks.
Mayor Sandy Moriarty, give her a nice round of applause. Thank you, Sandy. And I get a lot of credit when I'm up here because I'm the guy with the microphone, but it takes a village, and I've got the best village behind me. We've got the greatest staff, the greatest team that puts this on. And they're never in the same place at the same time, including tonight, which is a few of them are missing. But I want you to meet all of them that are here that make the magic happen. Staff, can you come on up here? I'm going to introduce you as you approach the stage. Let's give it up for the team, the Sedona International Film Festival. We are a family. Lori Reinhardt, our box office manager. Reba Stone, our operations manager and volunteer coordinator. Babs Gardner, our concessions manager. Kimberly from concessions. Celeste from the box office team. Brian Reinhardt, our tech director at the Mary Fisher Theater. And Lars from the tech team at the Mary Fisher Theater. Nice round of applause for this glorious, glorious team. They are amazing, and as I said, we're a family. Sometimes dysfunctional, but we're a family. And they're really an incredible team, and they make all the behind-the-scenes magic happen. And it is They're the ones that make your experience so extraordinary. So give it up one more time for our incredible, incredible team. And I want to bring up, is Sharon Barrett in the house? Sharon, are you around? Sharon, come on up. And Janet, come on up. And Steve, come on up. They're the management team here at the Sedona Performing Arts Center. They get to be with me all week out here at our largest venue. Sharon Barrett is our house manager. We've got our supervisors, Janet Bellarosa and Steve Opitz. And notice the nepotism. He is married to her. She is married to, where's Bill Barrett? Bill, come on up. Bill is my backstage manager. Come on up, Bill. We keep things in the family. So Bill comes up, when you see those magical things fly up, the banners that flew up before I started talking, that is not automated. He's back there going like this. When Dr. Elvis very dramatically walks on and begins his first song, when those gorgeous teal curtains close, that's him. Bill Barrett, married to Sharon Barrett. Thank you all. Give it up one more time for the staff of the Sedona International Film Festival. All right, and as Mayor Sandy said, I have the hardest working, most dedicated board of directors that makes the magic happen. They are a working board. They're a fundraising board. They do everything, including helping out clean some of our venues when you are not here. So we're very, very grateful for that. Please welcome the board of directors of the Sedona International Film Festival to the stage to officially open the show. Joe Stone, Linda Goldenstein, John Curvin, Donnie Webster, Chuck Marr, Patty Herman Judah, Bill Barrett, Donalyn Michaels, Judy Neiman, and Gary Cortez. Welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a few that could not be with us tonight. Connie Levinson and Rose Bourne, they send their love and appreciation to all of you. And Barry Makatansky. Do any of you know Barry Makatansky? Barry and his husband Jimmy are about to become parents. They're adopting a newborn this weekend. So I'm waiting for the text. He told me I could out them and share that news. But he said I would be with you at the festival, but we are becoming daddies. And they're adopting a newborn that was due yesterday, and they're hoping to have it by tomorrow. So it's a new little baby boy, Grayson James Makatansky. Let's send him our congratulations. He'll feel it. And it is my great pleasure to introduce our board chair to you with a very, very deep personal connection to the film festival. Her mother, Marion Herman, was one of the founders of the Sedona International Film Festival. She and 3 other women back in the mid-90s said, let's put on a show. Sedona needs a film festival. And now, following in her mother's footsteps, the late Marion Herman, Miss Patty Herman Judah, our board chair, doing a tremendous job. Give a nice warm welcome to Patty.
Festival. All right, so you saw my little performance last time. And so I've been trying to figure out what to say this time. And one thing just kept coming to mind. And over again, I think of something. No, one thing kept coming to mind. One singular sensation is a festival so true. One thrilling combination of dark shorts and narratives too. One film and suddenly no other fest will do. You know it's only the start of more films to pursue. One moment in our presence and you can't forget the rest. For Sedona second best to none. Sun, ooh, sun, give us your attention due. I really have to mention we're the one. Thank you, and we are number without your wonderful patronage, our volunteers, my wonderful board of directors who are truly a working board, and Pat, we love you, and we love this festival. So everyone have a great week, and we'll see you at the end and throughout. Pat?
Patty Herman Judah, one singular sensation. Hey, Dr. Elvis, you might have a little competition tonight. Watch it, Patty. He might pull you up to perform with him. While they're getting the ribbon ready to cut to officially open the festival, I want to let you know of a little wonderful promotion we are doing this week, and we hope that you will be a part of it. Many of you know that we are building a second screen at the Mary D. Fisher Theater. Mary D. Fisher Theater is getting a little baby sister, the Alice Gill Sheldon Theater, a gorgeous new 46-seat theater that's going to open in mid-May. We have had tremendous support from all of you, this wonderful community, that have been giving us the money to build the theater. It started with an anonymous $1 million gift that kicked the campaign off, and then it went to the Sheldons, who gave a significant gift to get Alice's name on the building, and then to dozens and dozens of other people who said, I want to sponsor this for $20,000, I want to sponsor this for $50,000, I want to sponsor this for $70,000. We've gotten so much outpouring of support. The campaign was to raise $2.25 million. And of that, in that money, we are earmarking more than $500,000 to stay in an account that will earn interest to keep the theaters going for many, many years. It's a fund to keep the equipment upgraded, maintained, replaced, so that long after I'm the executive director and long after these people are on the board, these theaters are going to still be in Sedona thanks to all of you. So, yes, so we're very excited. We are almost there, ladies and gentlemen. We have about somewhere between $50,000 and $70,000 to go to finish that campaign. And so we're launching the very final phase of the campaign. And this is where anybody who wants to be a part of this can be part of this. We realize not everybody has a checkbook that can write a $10,000 check, a $20,000 check. I will still take those checks, however. But we are launching our I'm a Star campaign. In the lobby of the Mary D. Fisher Theater, if you've been over there today, if you were at the conductor, like Mayor Sandy said, you're going to see a wall. It's named after our founder, Marion Herman, the Marion Herman Galaxy of Stars. And those are where all of our big donors are going to have stars on the wall, like the Walk of Fame, in a beautifully artistic panel up there on the wall of the lobby. Again, we want everyone to feel like this is part of their theater. You are our theater. This is a community theater that's built from people in all walks of life, all economic situations, everything. And we want you to be a star. These little pins that the board is wearing, that you see around our staff wearing, and some of our volunteers, they say on it, I'm a star. And for a donation of just $50, minimum of $50, you can give whatever you want. But $50 will get you a star pin and go directly to the capital campaign, to this fund that is going to keep funding the theaters for many, many years. You can get these at any of the box offices through the film festival, and we're hoping to kind of tie up the campaign by the end of the film festival, if you'll play along with us and support us, because this wonderful woman, where did Donna Lynn go? Donna Lynn Michaels, just prior to the show, said she is going to match the first $10,000 that are made in these pins during the film festival week. So, thank you. So, let's make her put her money where her mouth is, and let's just raise this money. What do you say? Can we do it? Yes? Okay. So visit any box office location. They'll be in the VIP lounge. Ask one of these wonderful people up here on the board of directors or any staff member. We'll tell you how you can support it. And again, this is your theater. Our theaters are your theaters. We are here because of you. We appreciate you, and we want you to be part of the very foundation that makes us the cultural heart of Sedona. Give it up for all of you for supporting us, and thank you very, very much for believing in our vision. And Donna Lynn, thank you so very, very much. Now, what do you say we cut the ribbon and open the film festival officially, shall we? All right, this is a tradition here at the film festival. We're all going to help, and they're going to cut the ribbon, and we're going to count down from 10 to 0, and they're going to cut it, and then we're going to introduce Dr. Elvis and a very special reception we had tonight. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are open. The 28th annual Sedona International Film Festival is officially underway. Opening night has begun. Thank you all. Give it up one more time for our board of directors of the Sedona International Film Festival. We are so excited. Wait till you see that theater when it opens. It's going to be really cool. Okay, we've got a very special night ahead, and we're going to get to it right now. Made even more special by an incredibly generous, gifted, talented, and beautiful woman, Lisa Dahl, chef extraordinaire here in Sedona. She is right there in the back. Lisa, give a nice wave. She always looks absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa, we were talking in meeting, because Lisa already does two extraordinary things. Like many of the restaurants do here in town, Lisa is right there on the bandwagon. She hosts our party, our Monday at Mariposa party, our VIP party for our VIP guests, filmmakers, and pass holders. She hosts that at Mariposa, and that's why we call it Mariposa Mondays, and it's always one of the hits of the festival. We thank you, Lisa. And we, of course, have her doing the food in the VIP lounge. She serves an extraordinary lunch, probably one of the healthiest lunches we have, with her incredible salads and her tomato bisque soup that she's so well known for on Thursday. And I came to her this year and said, Lisa, I really think we need to do something special, and I think you're going to like this. And I told her all about Dr. Elvis and what an incredible human being he is, and that we're giving him the Humanitarian Award, and that he's doing an opening night celebration. And I told her about his philanthropic work with donating to COVID-19 relief charities. And you're going to hear about that from him, and he's just every bit as beautiful inside as he is outside. And Lisa said, I want to be a part of this. I want to create a very special reception for Dr. Elvis in the lobby of the Sedona Performing Arts Center. So we put our heads together, and she said, everybody deserves a happy ending. So she's going to provide that happy ending for all of us tonight. Because you're not going to want this show to end. You're going to want to listen to Dr. Elvis all night. He's going to come out and do a meet and greet in the lobby. I don't know if any of you got to see that gorgeous display. Lisa and her team have created the most amazing Italian wedding cake that you're all going to get to enjoy tonight, along with the bubbly glass of Prosecco on us and on Lisa Dahl and the Dahl Restaurant Groups. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Lisa Dahl. She just released her second cookbook, so you can check that out all week long. It's extraordinary. It's been 10 years since her first one. I bought the first 4 copies. It was very, very cool. And get to say hello to her, and of course get to say hello to Dr. Elvis tonight, and enjoy her incredible, she's well known for this dessert. Lisa Dahl, one more round of applause. Lisa Dahl and the Dahl Restaurant Group, thank you. We will see you out there. And one last thing, and I'm going to let Elvis take the stage. I have to thank the people who made this incredible show possible. And again, in this business, it's who you know. And who you know gets you the greatest things that happen at the film festival. I happen to be very good friends with a gentleman named Scott Ross, who is also a very good friend of Lisa Dahl's. Scott Ross is part of there's his daughter. Is that Sydney? Yeah, hey, Sydney. Thank you for your dad. Appreciate that. Scott happens to be part of Lippman Entertainment. There's 3 people in Lippman Entertainment. One of them is Nick Lippman right there, or standing over there, and his father, Michael Lippman, and Scott Ross. Is Scott backstage in the green room, or am I missing him? Okay, well, he'll hear us. Scott Ross came to me and said, we just signed Dr. Elvis, and we want him to come and open the Sedona Film Festival. And I'm like, Dr. Elvis, the face of the pandemic? Quarantine Man on The Masked Singer? The gentleman who inspired us all? I said, yes. I said, that's impossible. Seriously? And he said, I can get him out here. He wants to come. Let's make this happen. In less than 5 minutes, we had Nick, Mike on the phone, Michael, your dad. We had Dr. Elvis on a Zoom, and it all magically happened. And it's all thanks to Lippman Entertainment, Scott, Nick, and Michael. Please give them a nice round of applause for bringing Dr. Elvis into our world. Thank you. And without further ado, I've never been so proud to make an introduction in my life, because this man represents what is the heart and soul of our film festival, and the heart and soul of making a difference in this world, and the heart and soul of being a good human being. And on top of that, he was named 2020 Sexiest Man Alive in People magazine. That helps. Ladies, he is single, FYI. And he's a very successful spinal surgeon, so suddenly they're all going to develop a back injury, I think. Yes. You're going to enjoy him so much. We're going to show his 1 minute, 1.5 minute sizzle reel to introduce him, and then Dr. Elvis is going to take the stage. You will be so glad you came tonight. Your lives will be touched. You will be moved. He's going to entertain you. We're going to have a Q&A with him. We're going to enjoy a wonderful happy ending provided by Lisa Dahl. You will not forget this opening night. Please give a big round of applause for the sizzle reel, our Humanitarian Award recipient, and your opening night act, Dr. Elvis Francois.
You might say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday that you will join us, and the world will live as one. Your version of Imagine got us through the pandemic, man. So, appreciate that. Quarantine, man, you don't know, like, that living room concert you did on Fox, that was the first time we saw it, and in a concert of stars, it was like Elton John, Billy Joe, everybody. The best moment of that living room concert was you. Looking down the living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' work it out and move mountains, yes. We gon' work it out. Move mountains. Now rise up, waves, I rise up. In spite of the pain, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. I will rise. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Ooh. You might say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday that you will join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You might say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday that you will join us, and the world will live as one. Thank you. It's a tough one to start off with, so I gotta catch my breath a little bit.
But thank you all for having me here. This is an incredible moment to share with you all in this space. As many of you know, it's a watershed moment for all of us. You know, this is like the first time we're here in a few years, and seeing your faces is incredible. This is my first time in Sedona. But again, this is a moment that is sort of symbolic of where we were and how dark the past few years have been, but then how bright the future can be. And that song is really why I'm here. I know many of you might be wondering, why is there a guy named Elvis who's a doctor and he's singing in Sedona? I'll tell you the full story. So, still catching my breath there. But the long and short of it is, I grew up, music has always been just a part of my life. I would always sing in the shower, sing for fun. And then this guy over here, Tommy G, on the piano, incredible. But this is the true story. So growing up, maybe, you know, middle school, high school, my father, he is a Haitian immigrant that came from Haiti, and he worked 2 to 3 jobs. And, you know, growing up, he would always sing. And he would tell you himself, he has probably one of the worst singing voices in America. He's tone deaf, but he sings with passion. And so on good days and on bad days, what he would do is he would just hum songs, and he would always sing songs. And so for me, music was always something that I would always lean towards as a mood shifter. When days got bad, I would sing good music. When days were good, I would always also continue to sing good music. And one day, Tommy and I actually went to the same church growing up in Orlando, Florida. He's a musical genius, by the way. He's very humble, though. He'll tell you himself. But, so Tommy had an a cappella group. Tommy had an a cappella group, and they were missing 2 members. And so my brother who's over there, I think he's over there, I can't really see. But my brother and I were walking by, and Tommy just pulls us aside. He said, hey man, do you guys sing? Like, we need a couple guys to help us sing a song. And I said, sure, of course, knowing that I've never like performed in my life at all. So then we went up and we started singing together, and that was sort of the formative years for me. As many of you know, I'm an orthopedic spine surgeon now, but way back when I had aspirations of going to medical school and training to become a spine surgeon. That was always my goal, to help people with spine surgery. And so Tommy went on and did over the years went on to do an incredible number of things with music. Me, I went to med school, I went to college, went to med school, and was just, you know, studying and reading, but music was always there as a pulse in the background. And so, roughly 3.5 years ago, while I was in my medical training at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, for my orthopedic surgery residency, I would always lean towards music. And so we had finished up a 24-hour call shift, a trauma call shift, where it was pretty grueling. We're doing surgery all day. And after that shift, there are pianos across the entire hospital. And so my buddy sat down to play the piano, and I started to sing. And it's just an incredible moment to see patients walking through the hallways, to see nurses finishing up their shifts, to stop by. And for me, medicine over the years became something where, you know, you study the books, you study the text, you learn as much as you can to help people with surgery, and you start to, inevitably, many people lose sight of the humanity behind what you're actually here doing, and it's people. And so when I was singing, it was like a light bulb flash where I realized this is why I'm here. And oftentimes, what I like to say is that medicine heals the body, and oftentimes you can give patients medication, you can do the best surgery, but if internally that person isn't happy or isn't fulfilled, it's hard to really treat or treat and find a true way to get that person back to being their whole selves. And so for me, while medicine is for the body, music is something that I realize is for the soul. And so a buddy of mine, it was a couple years ago, his name's Dr. Robinson. He was also in the same training program as I. He's the one playing the piano. Someone recorded it, and we're singing the song, Imagine. And then we posted, it was a Monday. I don't know if many of you, if any of you saw it. I don't know if they showed up earlier, but the long and short of it is, I posted it on social media, and seeing the response was just truly remarkable. You know, a nurse in Italy who would finish the shift would send a message saying how it brightened her day, and patients from across the country and across the world were impacted. And for me, the point that I wanted to get across to you all, I know I'm talking a lot, I'm sure you guys want more music, well, we have that coming as well. But the point that I wanted to get across is that song, Imagine, really highlights a lot of what we just went through the past couple years. as many of us know, it was the first time in a generation where we all had to face this one singular problem, which was a global pandemic. And it didn't matter if you lived in Sedona, if you lived in Hawaii, if you lived in Milwaukee, if you lived in Canada, or in Zimbabwe or Japan. We were all facing the same thing. And the words of that song, Imagine, start off by saying, imagine a world with no heaven, no hell, no religion, and above us is only sky. And the meaning behind that is that those are all the things that we create amongst ourselves to divide us. You turn on the television, there's politics, there are 30 different things that remind us how different we are from each other. And that song creates a world where you can see how beautiful it could be when we remove all these divisions and barriers. And for me, that's what that song Imagine means to me. And that's why I wanted to share it with you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am going to grab a bottle of water that's right over here. So give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back. I'll share a story about the next song that I'm going to sing. It's a song that I first came across when we were in the ICU. So typically, for people in medical training, you go through all these hoops and you go through different surgical units. So I was training to do surgery, but I was also working in the ICU. And this is a story that, for me, was really solidified how music can impact and move people. There was a woman who she was with her husband, and he had a terminal cancer diagnosis. And he was in the ICU, and they wanted to get married, but he had maybe a few days to weeks to live. He was on a ventilator and wasn't conscious at the time. But the incredible thing was seeing the entire hospital staff actually create an actual wedding ceremony in the hospital. And so they brought in a pastor and a priest. They brought in a cake. This gentleman is on his bed, and what she wanted us to do is she reached out to my buddy Dr. Robinson, who plays the piano, and myself, and what they asked was if we could sing some songs. And her favorite song is this next song called Rise Up. And for me, it was an incredible moment to share that space with them, and I'm honored to be here with you all in Sedona, sharing it with you. You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' work it out and move mountains, move mountains, and I'll rise up, rise like the waves, I'll rise up in spite of the pain, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. When the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise you we'll take the world to its feet and move mountains, move mountains, and I'll rise up, rise like the waves, I'll rise up in spite of the pain, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. I will rise, rise like the waves, I will rise in spite of the pain. I will rise 1,000 times for you, for you. 1,000 times again and again. You all. Also, by the way, everyone has masks on, so I can't tell if you all hate it or if it's going great. So, but I'm gonna keep singing. Also, there was. I think some of you had wine earlier tonight. I heard someone say once, the more you drink, the better I'll sound tonight. So go ahead and get a few cocktails outside. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This next song is truly my actual favorite song. Super simple. Sometimes when people are going through difficult times, one of the simplest things you can do to help them is to just give them reassurance. Oftentimes, especially at the beginning and the height of the pandemic, many people, including ourselves as physicians, had no idea how to actually help. And we didn't really know treatment methods. We didn't really know exactly the scope of the pandemic. We didn't know how long it'd last. And there was a lot of uncertainty and a lot of confusion. But sometimes, the simplest way to help someone is to just reassure them and tell them that it'll be all right. When you're feeling low and there's no one around, when it looks like it's over and life's got you down, hold on to me, brother. I'll be here when you need, 'cause there's a brighter tomorrow. This I truly believe, that everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. 'Cause when you're feeling low and you can't see the light, everything is gonna be alright. So wipe those eyes, it'll be alright. Yeah, don't you cry, it'll be alright. And I know there'll be troubles outside, but everything is gonna be all right. Thank you so much. You're far too kind. Awesome. Thank you all so much. You're great. Does anyone sing here tonight? Anyone want to hop on stage and help me out? Anyone? All right, great. Don't all raise your hands all at once. This is awesome. But honestly, this is the first time that I've actually performed for a crowd this size, like in person. All the things that, so thank you. The funny thing is, my managers are here. Scotty, he's over there somewhere. Nick Lipman is over here as well. They told me that I usually, every time I sing, I stand in the same place. And then I usually just so they told me to walk around, so I'm gonna walk around, all right? And they also told me to make eye contact. So if I'm looking at you very strange, blame Scotty, Scott Ross back there, and then blame Nick Lipman, all right? So if it gets uncomfortable for you, my apologies. But yeah, so all of you here, everyone here, has spent the past 2 to 3 years in this global pandemic, giant times of uncertainty. But the cool thing about all of this is that one of the things that I realized is in the darkest of times, nothing shines brighter than the human spirit. And my father used to tell me growing up, and his mother told him, so my grandmother told him this to tell me, but one of my favorite sort of Haitian proverbs, in Haitian Creole, so some background, I'm Haitian, but I was born in Connecticut, grew up in Miami, Florida. But one of my favorite Haitian proverbs is, si mon nan te douce, ou pa tap ka monte, which translates in English to, if the mountain was smooth, you wouldn't be able to climb it. And so, as a kid, it took me forever to understand that. It's like, what is a smooth mountain? But the rough patches, the difficult times, the hard moments, the moments when things aren't great, those are the ledges that you grab onto and you climb. And so, I say that to say, like, so many lessons from my father that I want to share with you all tonight. When I was thinking, what would I say to you wonderful people who are here to see incredible films from across the world? One of the things I realized is that growing up for me, my father, he had 3 or 4 jobs, and he worked as a cab driver, worked as a mechanic, he sold goods to Haiti, but he took care of me and my brother, who's over there somewhere, by himself as a single father in Haiti, in Miami, and also supporting people back in Haiti. And one of the remarkable things that I realized growing up is that we never took vacations, me and my brother. We never had money to go, to Disney World. We never, did things that anyone with any financial resource could do. And for us, I realized our vacations growing up were watching movies. So any film that we watched was an opportunity to travel the world. We would watch Rush Hour 1 and 2 growing up, and we would be in Beijing. We watched an old Western, and we'd be, in the heart of Texas. And so for us, film and cinema was an incredible way to see how much more of the world there was. We grew up in the projects of Miami, Florida, where minimum wage, people there made far below the minimum wage. And so we didn't have all the shiny things. I will say, I'm wearing these nice shoes that I just bought a couple weeks ago for you all. I got this nice vest a couple days ago. So this is the shiny, polished version of me. But thank you. But I think it's important to talk about the moments that weren't so shiny, that weren't so great. So growing up, so for example, it's always funny because I watched that sizzle reel, and it's like, that's not even who I am as a person. I mean, it just looks too perfect. Like someone told me, so I just finished my fellowship training at Harvard for spine surgery. Before that, I'm not bragging, I'm gonna get back to why I'm saying these things. I did a Harvard surgery fellowship for spine surgery. I went to Mayo Clinic for my orthopedic surgery residency. And these are the top universities and hospitals in the country. But growing up, I never really saw that. And all I saw was a struggle of us getting evicted at times, not being able to put food on the table. And I think it's very, very important to highlight those rough patches, because if the mountain was truly smooth, you wouldn't be able to climb it. And the reason I'm here today is because of all those rough patches. So it's something I always want to share with people, because the shiny, nice part that you see on the TV screen is not reflective of the entire story of who I am. So thank you. So, I know we've been singing a lot of slow songs today. And I don't want to put any one of you all to sleep. But I do want to say, all of you survived the pandemic. Everyone here is still here. Right? You just look around you, everyone is still here. So a round of applause for you all. And your beautiful faces. And this next song is a reminder that despite all the craziness, you're still standing. You can never know what it's like. Your blood like a winter freezes just like ice. And it's a cold and lonely light that shines on you. You will wind up like that wreck you hide behind that mask you use. But don't you know that I'm still standing after all this time, picking up the pieces of my life without you on my mind. Clap with me. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Once I never could have hoped to win. I started down the road to lead me back again. The threats you made were meant to shut me out. But if love was a circus, you'd be a clown by now. But don't you know that I'm still standing better than I ever did? Looking like a true survivor. I'm feeling like a little kid. Tommy, help me out.
Yes, man.
I'm still standing after all this time. I'm picking up the pieces of my life without you on my mind. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sing it all with me. I'm still standing. Your turn. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There it is. Woo. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One more time. Ow. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa. Thank you. Awesome. That was fun. We should do this more often. We should do this more often. It's fun. Drink some water. All right, water break. Anybody need some water? I'm gonna have to catch my breath after that. Well, so the past like 3 years or so, most of the songs that I've been sharing were all cover songs. That last song by the famous Elton John, Andre Day, all these legendary songs. Because for me, I just gravitated towards music that made me feel. So, sometime last year, I started to write music of my own. And so, this is a cool moment because not only have I ever performed in front of a group this size, by the way, because everything I've done that you saw on TV was during the pandemic, so no crowds. So it was just me in front of a camera, and they're like, hey, by the way, there are 9 million people on the other side of that camera lens, but you'll do great. But so this is the first time that I'm actually performing for a group of people live.
Yeah, Elvis.
So thank you. Tommy's a great friend of mine. He knows me too well. So this is the first time that I'm actually ever going to share an original song that I've written. I actually wrote this song sometime last year when I was finishing up my fellowship. And we just released the song this past Wednesday. So it's available everywhere.
Yes.
It's available everywhere. At the end of the song, I'm gonna force you all to download it on Spotify, iTunes. Shameless plug, shameless plug. That's a great question. I had a great question. What is the song about? So I'll tell you the true story. It's always weird when people say that, as if they were gonna lie to you, right? Who says that? I'll tell you the true story. So the actual story is a combination of different life experiences. So I wrote this song. We've finished up a really long case. Has anyone in here had spine surgery? Oh, great. Okay, great. See me after the show. Just talk to all of you. So I'm a spine surgeon. That's my specialty. And so anyone who's been in a spine surgery operating room, the cases can get pretty long. You have your routine, one-level fusions that are pretty short, but longer cases can last anywhere from 8, 10, 12 hours. So this was like a Thursday, and I was in Boston for my training, and it was about maybe, 5 degrees. It's freezing outside. And it was like very dreary, and I was heading back home, and this melody just kept playing in my head. And so I was walking, I got back home, and I just sat down on the piano. I'm not as good as Tommy on the piano, but I started just playing the song. And the song for me was a reflection of moments of time that you've been in a space. Well, I'll stop by saying, has anyone had their heart broken here? Wow, no one. Wow, that's crazy. Is Sedona really this? Wow, Jesus Christ, no heartbreaks. There we go. There she is. Well, this song is gonna, okay, cool. So for me, I think it was a combination of things. And when I started to write the song, the melody called for that feeling. And music that I like to share is music that makes you feel. And if you could feel something, I think it moves the needle of your life. So this song is a combination of past experiences, past relationships that I've been in that have not worked out. But it's part of a larger body of work. And I started with this song because it really reflected the time and space that I was in. And yeah, hope you guys like it. I remember you said all these thoughts in my head while we lie in our bed. I knew it was over. It was over. I never thought I could feel a love that's so real. Then watch it grow colder till I knew it was over. It was over. Broken pieces, all I see inside of me. Look what you've done to me. I'm in broken pieces. Lost in the highs and the lows, holding on to your ghost, looking over my shoulder till I knew it was over. It was over. Those songs that we knew, melodies remind me of you. I can't sing anymore. I know that it's over. Yeah, it's over. Whoa, broken pieces. All I see inside of me. Look what you done to me. I'm in broken pieces. And I never thought I could feel until I touched a love so real. And I never thought I could fall, but now I'm broken pieces. All I see inside of me. Look what you done to me. I'm in broken pieces.
Broken pieces, all I see inside of me.
I'm broken.
Look what you've done to me. I'm in broken pieces.
Broken pieces. All I see inside of me. Look what you've done to me. I'm in broken pieces. I appreciate that. Very kind of you all. What we should do, though, does everyone have their phones with you? Yeah, everyone should go to iTunes, because I think it's a great idea. I don't know if it's a great idea. Everyone should go to iTunes or Spotify. If you just type in Broken Pieces, you can take a listen to it, the full orchestrated version. Also, commendations for my good friend here, Tommy Gerber. Killing it on the keys. Also, a round of applause for yourselves. This is just a great crowd. I don't know, just good energy here. I don't know what it is. But yes, so I think, what I'd like to do now is to take any questions that you all might have. If your back hurts, if you have lower extremity pain, if you have any fractures, let me know. I'm happy to chat with you about it. Pull up your x-rays or your MRI and I'm happy to take a look. Or if you want to talk about music, I'm happy to do that too. But yeah, any questions in the crowd about anything, about life, about...
We've got a question up in the... Oh, well, let's see. We've got one right over here. We'll start right here. Dr. Elvis, right here.
Great.
So we're an older crowd here, like all of us probably, but I just read an amazing article about how the pandemic's affected these like high schooler age. It's a generation age who really enjoy music, are really vulnerable to everything in the world. What you just did tonight was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to the medical community, and to the people who have been involved with it. But so I guess I think like you can go beyond that because I can see everything you love to do. What would you say to that group and how can we help them? I just feel like that's a lost group, that adolescent group, those high schoolers, that all they know is the pandemic and how is that going to affect the rest of their life?
Yeah, that's a phenomenal question. I thought about that quite a bit for a number of reasons. I think not even the adolescent group, but if you think about a 2 or 3 year old who's trying to learn facial expressions, but all they see is half of your face, how does that impact a 2 year old who spends the next 3 years of their life in a pandemic? Or as you mentioned, adolescents who can't have social interactions, especially in a world where everyone's staring at their phones and not social in the first place. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that many generations before us, some generations here have gone through World War II or World War I, or seen great calamity, the Holocaust or the Civil War, and those generations incredibly come out stronger. I think the great part about what it is to be human is that we are a very resilient people, and I think in those settings when you talk about an adolescent who's going through these challenges, I think encouraging them to find strength and encouraging them to realize, as I said earlier, if the pandemic is going to create stressors, but it's also going to create an opportunity for them to be better than we were. And so I think it's a challenging question. I don't know if I have a specific answer, but I think the silver lining is when you look at the baby boomer population or the Dust Bowl, like that's a strong group of people. Anyone who's been through the world wars, I've taken care of many of those patients, and it's incredible to see how resilient they are, how they handle pain. I think it's a challenge, it's a great challenge, but I think for the kids coming up behind us, it's a great opportunity.
Okay, you're going to hate me because I'm going to give you a two-part question. And when I used to give a lot of speeches, I hated two-part questions because you have to remember the second part.
Gotcha.
So the first part is, what do you think was your break? You had this very, very difficult childhood, and family living in not very, very good situation. What was it that caused you to break out? That caused you to become a spine surgeon and Harvard and everything else? Was it your parents? Was it the value creation system that they gave you? Now part two.
Part two.
So part two is you're in two very, very different careers right now. Okay? How do you see those things reconciling in the future?
Absolutely. Great two-part question. If you did 3 parts, I would probably fall apart. So I can handle 2 parts. I think the first one is I think I had my father is probably, to me, in my story, in my journey, the singular person who was always, who's always there. I'll give you background. Because again, I think if you just look at my resume now, it looks shiny, it looks great, but that's not the story. The story was, so for example, when I was in 7th grade, I got suspended 13 times in 7th grade, alone, for 1 year. Anyone? Yeah, 13 times. Way to go, Chef. What's your name? We'll talk after the show. Those are rookie numbers. So I got suspended 13 times. I was by all accounts, I did well academically, but if you met me then, you'd be like, this kid's a problem. But my father was always there. He would do things like when I got suspended or trouble, and my brother could tell you, he would give me the Encyclopedia Britannica and he'd have me copy all the letters. So it was always guiding me towards, being better. But even then, though, he would always ask me, what are your goals? And I think people do well when there's a tangible goal. So I knew if I kept getting in trouble, I would never go to medical school. So then I had to change my behavior. So I think for me, that was the biggest thing. But my father was single, and I could go on and on about him. He's an incredible man. But I had him, and if I didn't have him, I guarantee you I wouldn't be here today. So that's probably, for me, the biggest reason. Wow. And the second part. So, it's interesting. So for me, music has always been, you can ask my brother, even before we met Tommy, who's on the piano, music was always something to me, like singing in the shower, just singing. So music was like breathing to me. It's always something that I'd always just lean towards. And I trust me when I tell you, I had zero intention. If you told me 3 years ago that I'd be, hey Elvis, yeah, so in February you'll be in Sedona at the International Film Festival. So there's great people around at the Performing Arts Center performing. I would look at you and I'd say, I don't know what alternate universe you're from, but that's not this one. So I truly had no goals or aspirations for this, but I think sometimes life shows you where you need to go. And I think for me, and again, I think it's important for me to talk about all sides of it. Truthfully, going on, the Ellen Show or The Masked Singer or being on Fox, those things are great. But truthfully, like walking into, a supermarket and having someone walk up to you and say, hey, listen, those songs through the pandemic really like helped me get through a day. Like, I'm not getting emotional, but truthfully, that means more to me than anything else, and than any TV show, than any contract, than anything else. And I think, yeah. So I had no idea that I would be here doing this, but if it means making people's lives a little bit better, honestly, there's nothing better than that. I think at the end of life, when you get ready to close your eyes and you've lived all the lives that you live, you never think about the things that you did for yourself. The things that you do for people live forever. And I think if I could continue to do music and medicine, and leave that with people, that's something that I'll be happy and proud to stand by.
Okay. I have a question. It might be a two-part question as well.
Great. I love it. But I want to get one free.
Because his second one was my question, so I had to think of something right away. But who are your idols growing up, musical people that you looked up to, that you sang along with? Who were they? And who are your mentors today? People that you aspire to be or you want to, who are your inspirations today? And the people that inspire you to keep on going, even during those moments of hurdle and hardships, that no matter what, that you go, okay, I gotta just keep going. So
Yeah.
who are your past and your present and your future inspirations?
Yeah, this is a great question. From a musical standpoint, like I grew up listening to a lot of acapella. So there's a Christian group called Acapella, another one called Take Six, they're incredible. We grew up just trying to parcel every single harmony out. A lot of Brian McKnight, and then a lot of the greats. I'm a huge Freddie Mercury fan, so I would always try to sing his songs unsuccessfully. And then Stevie Wonder, Motown era. So for me, music has always been a sampler. But for me, it's always truly been, if I ever hear a song and I don't feel anything, but if I hear a song and you can feel, you can connect through that person's life experience, those are the voices that I generally loved listening to growing up. Today, when you ask who are your specific current role models, truthfully, I wouldn't say that there's one person. I think my true role models are like when I go to work and I see, someone working to take care of their family, and I see the struggle that people are going through. For me, because everything is never easy. So, when you finish up a call shift and you're going through a tough day, and you got to show up the next day to go to work. Hospital work, showing up at 4 in the morning to take care of patients and surgery is never easy. But the inspiration is seeing everyone else rise to the occasion. And I think I take much of my inspiration in the everyday person. I don't think I have any one person that. Any celebrities out there? I don't know. I don't know if I answered your question. I'm sorry. But to answer your question, ultimately, so I started singing in church when I was in 11th grade with Tommy. He forced me to do it. And so that's when I started singing. But then over the years, in college, I stopped singing. Truthfully, I went from singing in the car, singing for fun throughout college, throughout medical school, and it wasn't until residency that, you know, when the pianos around the hospital, we started to play those and started to sing, that I really reconnected with music. Yes.
Hi, wonderful show, so inspirational, love the music. I wondered what you did in Rochester, Minnesota for fun. I haven't gone to school and worked there a long time ago in the 60s and 70s. I've been in the halls of St. Mary's.
St. Mary's, oh yes, I know well.
So besides music, what did you do, especially in those cold winters?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I grew up in Miami, Florida. All of my ancestors are from Haiti, so I stayed inside. That's what I did, mostly. I looked outside. Nope. This is an indoor kind of day. No, jokingly, music was really a lot. I mean, in residency, you're working like 80 to 100 hours a week, off and on. In times where and if you do the numbers, you get paid maybe like $8 or $9 an hour after working that many hours. So you don't really have time or resources to go anywhere or travel. But a lot of what I did was a lot of music. I would just go and like do jam sessions alone. And then beyond that, yes, at St. Mary's though, because you're familiar, were the pianos there when you were there? Oh yeah, they're everywhere now, yeah. But we would also, I did a lot of, community work with, one of the things I'm passionate about is STEM, education, medicine, in underrepresented groups. So a lot of what I did was I tried to create an infrastructure for people who look like me to end up in those spaces. So that was one of the things I did outside of music. And I played a lot of basketball. It was fun. Sure.
So I've seen some images, video footage from around the world of doctors, especially surgical teams, playing live music to their patients. And I wanted to ask you if you ever had that opportunity, or if you want to create that opportunity for yourself in the future.
Oh yeah, that's a great question. Let me tell you a funny story actually. So at Mayo, at the pediatric unit at St. Mary's, we had a great idea. We're like, hey, we should do a concert for the kids. We should just go out there and, play a couple songs. So it was maybe like 30 kids who were in the pediatric ward, and so their parents were there with them. And so I had a track list of songs like that I just sang for you, like Imagine, Rise Up. And so by the third or fourth song, these kids were just looking at me like, what's going on? I'll never forget this. There's like a 7-year-old, she was like maybe 4 or 5, she's younger than that. So I say, hey, you know what, I'll take a request, any songs that you all want me to sing. And this little girl goes, oh, I want to hear Frozen, a song from Frozen. So then I looked up, I don't have children yet, I don't have kids, so I've seen it for fun. I looked at my buddy on the piano, and he looks at me like, I don't know songs from Frozen. And this poor girl was like belting in tears, and I felt like the worst person ever. But yeah, I think what you bring up is a good point. I think when you go to a hospital, as many of you have been, it's very like dreary. Usually if you're at a hospital, it's not because you won the lottery. It's not great, right? It's like you don't show up there like, oh, I really want to go to St. Mary's. So the energy in this space is oftentimes reflects that. And I think not everyone sings, not everyone does music, but there are ways to connect with the humanity of who we are as people. And those moments where your doctor is like playing the piano, and you're like, oh, maybe he doesn't just look at me as a patient, or someone takes the time out to like make you feel special with the song, are really, really cool moments. So yeah, that's something that is my favorite. Other than performing for you guys, those are my favorite performances at the hospital. And I encourage all of my other colleagues who are secret piano players or like secret banjo players to like bring it in, just play around. It's fun.
So welcome to Sedona, and thank you for the song selection. Great voice. I mean, particularly your tenor falsetto is like amazing. So there's that. I mean, and then I thought, what part of music speaks to some of the technicality of your work? I mean, do you get like the neck bones connected to the knee bone, the knee bones connected to
the neck bone connected to the knee bone. That's a problem.
I mean,
that's a problem. I don't think you don't have to be a doctor. It's a short person. I'm kidding.
But does something in music inspire the technical, help you to get through the technicality in your work?
Great question. In fact, I don't know how many people, some people said they had spine surgery, but in 98% of operating rooms, music is being played. So typically, before you go to sleep, they're not playing, the Eagles. But when you do go to sleep, the primary surgeon or the anesthesiologist will say, oh, play some music. And music has this incredible quality of calming the room, making people feel sort of more focused and more hyper-aware. And it's amazing to see that. There have actually been studies on this where playing music in operating rooms or stressful settings can calm people down. And if you're a surgeon whose hands are like this, you might need that. That's not me though. Just in general terms, talking about other people. But yeah, but from a technical standpoint, it's incredible. Like people will drive into work and you'll hear the music that they're playing, getting them ready for the day, or when they're coming back from a stressful day, the music that they play there. But from a technical standpoint, I think that's the closest thing that I've realized. Like, because before no one in my family is in medicine. So all of my experiences were like, oh, that's what an operating room looks like. Oh, that's what, and so seeing music being played in the operating room, and typically when you're closing, so for example, say if you just had surgery, you broke your leg. We did a femoral nail and you did a distal lateral locking plate, technical terms. Complex surgery, you're getting ready to close the incision or close the wound. That's when you'll say, let's play some closing music. So you'll play something like kind of more upbeat. It's like, hey, we as a team, the nurses, the anesthesiologists, we just successfully helped this person. So the music feels a little better. Exactly. Huh? You do a little some of that. Saw you dancing there. Good moves. Good shoulders. But yeah, so that's something that I thought was really, really cool. Seeing music and how it interweaves. It's interwoven through the hospitals.
Yes. Hi. First I want to say I love your sense of fashion. So I have one music question and I have one medical question. I'll do the medical question first. So my husband, when he was like in high school, he got spine surgery, and he has a titanium rod in his back. He like grew 2 inches from it, so that's kind of cool. But they say that in the future he may need to get it redone. Like, what things can he do to prevent that from happening and just keep the maintenance of it?
Love it. I love it. It's a good question. How old is he?
He's 27.
Oh, so younger. Yeah, so have him work with a physical therapist to do dedicated upper trapezial exercises. The stronger the muscles are in his core, the less stress it's going to put on his cervical spine. And if he had those rods put in, typically when you're that young, the 3 indications for getting them out, the main indications are infection, which is a low risk, but then also, I won't get too technical, but yeah, we'll get chat after. But the biggest thing for him is keeping a good core strength and working with physical therapy over the years, especially if he's that young.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, no problem.
So, music question. So I love to sing as well, and what are some things that helped you build your stage confidence in singing?
Oh, that's a good question. It's like today. Stage confidence. You know, when I first started singing the first few songs, I was kind of nervous. I was like, you know what? We practiced, we know what we're doing. But it was like, you know what? If you want to do a good job, you're going to be like, all right, cool, a little on edge. I think the biggest thing is just, and this is like a life thing. For me, when someone over there asked, like, what was the biggest thing that you learned that helped you get through different things, is I realized that the doorway to success is littered with failure. So if you try to avoid failure and you try not to come out and perform in front of a group of people, or you try not to take a hard opportunity, you're never going to get the best part of you. So I think what is my favorite thing to say is fail better. So if you're going to get on stage, you might mess up, but the next time just mess up a little less. So fail better. And I think on the opposite of anything that you want, it's full of these moments where you have to do things that are kind of push you on edge, and that's how you expand your mind. That's how you grow. So for me, like, you know, no one that I grew up with had aspirations to do medicine, and no one in my family did. So it was a great unknown to me. But what I realized is that it's okay to fail at it, and it's okay to not make it. But not trying is the worst feeling ever. So yeah, that's how I say it. Yeah, sure.
I have spent a little time in the OR too, and I'm just really curious. Playlists, we know that happens, and we know we fight over what to play.
I am not listening to John Mayer again, not one more time.
My question is, do you ever sing in the OR?
That's a good question. So the funny thing is, a few years ago, I was like in the OR joking around, and I was like, I had my phone, I was singing, and I posted it. People thought that I sing in the OR. No, I don't. I wouldn't, because you're so focused on making sure you do a perfect job. So I would never compromise like patient care to sing in the OR. But usually, like in the pre-anesthetic area, before we roll into the OR, patients will ask me to sing. And these are people who are just kind of nervous and like, I'm getting ready to have surgery and I'm really, really nervous. And so I'll just ask people what their favorite song is. Justin Bieber, some Frank Sinatra. And so those are the moments I sing, usually before and after the OR, but I make it a point to never sing in the OR. Some other people do though. That's interesting. Yes?
So how are you gonna, like, how do you plan on splitting your time between music and medicine?
I was gonna ask you how I was gonna do it. I have no idea. No, I'm kidding. That's a great question.
I can help you with the project management.
Perfect. Just lovely. No, that's a good question. I think it's not gonna be easy. I think anything that's like, these are uncharted. This is the first time I responded to this question in front of a group of people. These are pretty uncharted territories, meaning not many people are trying to do both. The way I like to think about it is some of your doctors, actually most of your doctors, they play golf. I sing. So for me, I'm going to continue to share this with people, and I'll find spaces and times where it works, and I'll continue to do it. But I literally have to pinch myself every morning that I wake up. True story. Like if you told 8-year-old me in Miami, Florida, that I'd be able to help people with medicine and surgery, and then also share music, that's like truly the best of both worlds. So the long and short of it won't be easy, but I'm willing to try.
I'd like to thank you so very much. I like your fail better. That's perfect.
Thank you.
But I'm going to ask you, how do you manage your mental, emotional, and physical health given everything you're doing? It looks like you go to the gym. But I'm just curious, how do you take care of all of that? Because you have a lot of stuff happening. So for all of us, how do you do your mental, physical, emotional health?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think being intentional is probably the one word that could highlight that. For me, I'm very intentional about the life that I try to live. And so, for example, for physical health, I make it a point to, like, if you see patients, like even for anyone in here, this is a medical plug. If you take a person who doesn't do much activity over the age of 45, even if they did 15 minutes, just 15 minutes of activity a day, walking, getting on elliptical, you don't have to work out for an hour. 15 minutes a day, the morbidity of having a cardiac or lung issue that could cause death drops by 60%. So I think just being intentional and saying, making that part of your day. And I think the same is with like emotional health. Like the hospital is very, very stressful. Trying to juggle medicine and music is very, very stressful. But the biggest thing is being intentional and say, okay, I'm going to take space out to either meditate, to take space out to go on a vacation. And because I think life gets busy and things can spiral out of control. But I think being intentional about those things, and I would challenge every one of you to just pick those things, be intentional with the space and time you share with your family, and make that part of your day. The phone calls, my brother always gets on me about that I should call people more. And so I've been trying to be more intentional about like getting on the phone and just, hey, how's your day? But because once you get into those habits, they're harder to break. Awesome. I can't see anything. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's not a question. I just wanted to tell you how much you are such an inspiration. Just listening to a young man like you. I was a single mom, but that doesn't mean that your past defines you and that you will be a statistic. So I want to honor you, black man. And that's what I'm up here to say as a mother.
I appreciate that. Those words mean a lot. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
We've got time for 2 more questions, then you'll all get to meet him out in the lobby. But just a minute, I gotta make my... hold that thought, Tommy G. We're gonna take 2 more questions on this side. I feel so guilty I haven't gotten over to them.
Sit tight, Coach.
Where's my hug? I want a hug.
How you doing?
Hi. Okay, so I'm probably like the youngest person in here, but
he's a comedian. Bravo. Welcome. Soak up the wisdom. A lot of wisdom in here.
Back to your Broken Pieces song. How did you basically like get through the heartbreak? Because like I'm a 20-year-old and I just got married.
Oh yeah. So sorry to hear that. Well, not sorry to hear that. I think I'm happy to hear that. I'll tell you why I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. One of my favorite quotes, I'm a big quote guy. In my phone, I just have all these quotes. And like if I get like for emotional stuff, I sometimes just read them. And one of my new favorite quotes is, I don't want to butcher it for you, but this too shall pass. So if you're having a great day and you just won a lotto, $30 million, oh my God, this is awesome. That feeling, this too shall pass. If you're having a day where you're like, man, she just broke up with me. I gave her 3 years of my life. This too shall pass, right? You feel great on a good day, that's gonna pass. So how you feel right now is how I felt, because when I wrote this song, actually it was about a relationship that I was in, and I was 22. This is my last year of undergrad. And I was like, I hadn't gotten a job yet so I had no income. I was back home with my parents, living in like a tiny couch, and I was like, I just finished college. I didn't get into med school. Actually, I applied to med school. The first time I applied to medical school, I didn't get in. And so that happened. I was back at home, and I got my heart broken. And if I could go back to that younger me, what I would tell him is like, hey, listen, I know you feel terrible right now, and I know you may feel broken, but this too shall pass. And the cool thing about that song that I was talking to Tommy about is the last chords of that, most songs, when they end, there's a resolution. So like if you play a song, what's an example, like resolve a song, like notes. Yeah. So you hear that? So that ended. That's resolution. Broken Pieces doesn't resolve. So it ends with, right? So the notes have not resolved yet. So I did that on purpose because I didn't want the song to resolve on a broken piece. The next few songs that I'm hopefully kind of share, hopefully can feel bigger. And hopefully can connect you to a space where you grew out of that broken space. But what I'll tell you is, your heart's broken now, but I guarantee you'll find love again if you keep your heart open. If it's broken and you keep it closed and resolves, you'll never find it again. So that's my advice to you.
I have one more though.
Yeah, sure.
So I forget who was talking about you're very fit. What is your workout split?
How much do you weigh?
I gained like 10 pounds, so maybe like 140.
Okay, cool. You look like you're taller than me. But I
am not.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was in college, I was like 135 soaking wet, and I was like 5'10". So basically just consistency over the years. Like if you make it a point, you can ask my brother or my cousin every day, even if it's like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or Nick Lippman over there, he gets after it at the gym. But you don't have to like work out 10 hours a day. But consistency for whatever you do, even if it's education, if you read for 30 minutes a day or do 10 questions for the SAT a day, by the end of the year, you'll have done thousands of questions. If you work out for 45 minutes to an hour a day, by the end of the year, you will have had thousands of hours in the gym. So it's that intentionality behind all the things that you do, and it's crazy because it's additive. It's like synergy. Because that's how 1 + 1 = 15. If you just keep doing those things consistently. And so, yeah, we can chat afterwards too about it. I'll give you a more focused regimen. For sure. Last question.
Hi, Dr. Elvis.
Hello.
I came here as a guest of Scott Ross, and he has been raving about you. And to be honest with you, I was excited to come, but it's like to hear another pretty voice, right? And we have so many pretty voices in the world. But what we are really lacking is some people who are truly inspirational. We have so many celebrities and athletes that don't leave exemplary lives. And I am just really blown away by how inspirational your story is. And I guess I don't necessarily have a question for you as much as I just wanted to thank you for having such an exemplary life and being someone that I think we absolutely, everyone here wants to see you succeed.
Oh, wow. That's really, really sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And Dr. Elvis, before you go any further, I did want to we promised the audience we were honoring you with our Humanitarian Award. And I know we're going to want one more song out of him, aren't we, ladies and gentlemen? The muscles are real. I don't want to stand too close. Look at him, look at me. I'm his grandfather. But anyway, in all seriousness, I've done this festival 18 years, and I can honestly say I've never been more inspired by anyone than you tonight. Thank you, Dr. Elvis.
Yes, sir.
We're on live stream, so I've got to be careful what I say. Our 2022 Humanitarian Awards Sedona Film Festival presented to Dr. Elvis Francois in recognition of your dedication to inspiring the world through your music, passion, and humanitarian efforts, in honor of your unwavering commitment to uplift us all and give us hope through the pandemic, and in appreciation to your devotion to philanthropic work and your determination to make this world a better place. You are an inspiration to us all. Thank you. And you got one more song in you? All right. And afterwards, ladies and gentlemen, he is going to come out, meet and greet. He's going to hang out with you, answer any questions you want. We do ask you, we need to get him over to the cake with beautiful Lisa Dow for a photo op before we cut into the cake. So please let him get out there first. And while you're on your way over there, pick up your free glass of Prosecco at the concession stand. So make sure you get that, and then you can eat cake. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Elvis Francois.
Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. Oh, Bible King composing hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Now maybe there's a God above, but all that I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew ya. But it's not a cry that you hear at night, and it's not someone who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Let's get everyone to sing with us.
You guys sing with us.
Hallelujah.
We need your voices.
Hallelujah.
Beautiful.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
One more time.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Last time.
Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Francois. Tommy G on piano.
A round of applause for yourselves, because you all have been excellent tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Come out and say hello in the lobby and meet and greet Dr. Elvis. Thank you all for coming and kicking off our opening night.